Welcome back to AM Northwest. The gripping series Adolescence is sparking a lot of conversation around how the internet is impacting boys. Here with helpful insights, we welcome back the author of Staying Connected with Your Teen, family therapist Yshai Boussi. Great to see you. You'd seen the series.
I did.
What's your first reaction to it?
I binged it. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
One is, I mean, to be honest, just from an artistic perspective, one shot per episode was incredible.
Right.
It was really so well done.
But it really focuses on the impact of young boys. Jamie here, for instance, who's 13, and in the series, he's arrested for murder. So tell me, it's because it's not so much, everyone knows that, but tell me about, he's really hit hard by the internet. His life is impacted by the internet.
Right.
What he believes.
Yeah, and what I love about this, from my perspective as a family therapist, I work with young boys all the time and teen boys. And it sheds a realistic light on the complicated world that these otherwise really good kids are exposed to. And how even just otherwise good parents, not perfect at all, but good parents can have kids that fall prey to this online world. But it's also not just one thing. It's not just online and social media. It's the school system. It's family dynamics. There's a lot of variables that can contribute to kids moving into some of these dark places.
Right. There were some terms I hadn't heard before. One was manosphere.
Yeah.
What is that?
So the manosphere is a collection of blogs, websites, forums, podcasters that promote this idea, a misogynistic idea that feminists hate men and boys, that the world is unfair to boys and men. And so it's people promoting these messages that are very misogynistic and one-sided, and it really fires up vulnerable young boys who want to feel connected and included.
Well, and because oftentimes girls can hurt their feelings, not meaning to in many ways, but then they take it personally, and then it becomes the hate. Then they start hating back, right?
That's right, right. And another term that came up in this show was incels.
Incel.
And I was like, what is that?
Right.
So involuntary celibate. So this is a community of young people who are having a hard time finding a mate. They're interested in having a sexual relationship, and they're not able to find that. They're not having that. And so they come together, and they're really united over this idea that the world is unfair to boys and to men, that women have all the power and are controlling these situations. And what it does is it just fuels this anger and animosity and sense of victimhood, but it also unites them around these ideas.
So they feel it's very dangerous. They feel even more powerful together because they push each other. They egg each other on.
And a shared kind of enemy, if you would say, or sort of a cause of, which is women or girls.
Girls, right. And then the emojis that we have no idea about. Like we think a simple emoji is just, a cute little emoji, but not so.
Absolutely, yeah. Hearts, different colored hearts mean different things.
Right.
A red heart means love. Of course, but I guess a purple heart means love with sexual interest. There's things like that. I didn't know any of these things. I was looking at this. I've sent a purple heart to a friend before because I thought, well, they like purple and it's their birthday. And now I'm like, whoa,
what did I do?
What
did I do? So we do need, as parents, you say it's really important for parents to know what is out there, what their kids are looking at. Both boys and girls, obviously. The beauty about this show is these are not extreme parents. Right.
These are parents we can all relate to. This is like an innocent looking kid. I mean, he's scared. He wet his pants when the police came in. He was so terrified, and he looks very innocent and vulnerable. This is not about good kids, good parents, bad parents.
Right.
Any of our kids.
And not even drugs or any of that.
No, any of our kids could fall into this. So yes, it could be your kid. No, maybe not murdering somebody.
Right.
But they could know someone who did something. They could be cyberbullying. They could be online harassing, or be next to someone who's doing it and not say anything.
Right. Because the bullying is also a part of this too.
That's right.
Yeah.
Cyberbullying is a real thing, and it's really damaging. And so, yes, it could be my kid. I've had to have conversations with my son who's about to turn 13 because I've heard him say things that are not okay. So he's a great kid. We're good parents. But he has also made some mistakes that we have had to sit down and have conversations about. And we need to be plugged in. What I'll also say is, if you have a middle schooler, sit shoulder to shoulder, look at their phone together, look at what they're doing online. Not from a, this is bad, you're bad.
Right.
Curiosity, a relationship. Stay engaged with your kid and have that relationship and be curious about, okay, if you're not doing it, do you have friends who are doing things? Do you ever receive things that you didn't know about or thought were weird? You can always talk to me. Some kids don't, you know why some kids don't talk to their parents?
Why?
They're afraid their phone's going to get taken away. That's one reason. So I don't want to tell you because you're going to say my phone is the problem and you're just going to take it away and I don't have a phone. So don't just rely on taking away their phone. Rely on having conversations, being curious, ask questions, and we're in this together. It's a hard world for the best of kids. You have a good kid. Get to know their world.
Right.
It's complicated. They're stressed out and they don't know what to do. And if we're hands off, then we're letting the internet raise them.
Right, absolutely. And the bullies raise them, and that group of people online who want to gather them all together and use them for whatever purpose they have.
Manipulate their vulnerabilities and insecurities. Absolutely.
What would be something that, not your son necessarily, but you've heard in counseling a young boy say that surprised you when it comes to this kind of a situation?
They will say racist or anti-Semitic or misogynistic, like a young person I've talked to, I've talked to the parents who overheard them say, just in an innocent game of Mario Kart, oh, I just raped you.
Oh, wow.
Like this, totally not knowing what they were saying.
Right.
Not thinking it through, but they heard someone say it and they just repeated it.
Right.
And so we had to have a conversation about, and these are wonderful parents, really sweet kid who was mortified when we explained what that meant.
Right.
He had no idea what he was talking about or what he was saying. And but he heard someone say it and he just repeated what he heard. That's how it can start sometimes. Another parent, some family I worked with, they really wonderful, sweet, but their kid had unfiltered internet access, a browser, and they heard somebody name a porn site and they thought, oh, what's that? They looked it up. They've been looking at porn all by themselves for months before the parents found out. And then, of course, they restricted it and did all the things. But it was several months of unrestricted porn access for a 12-year-old.
Right, which changes the brain.
It can change the brain.
Wow.
So, yes, this can happen to anyone, everyone. We all need to assume it could be my kid.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to tell everyone your book, again, is titled Staying Connected with Your Teen. Yshai, thank you so much. Great to talk with you.
Thanks for having me.
All right, we'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away.